I need to tell you something that's been keeping me up at night. I've been tracking retail supply chains for Target specifically for the past 8 years, and what I'm seeing right now is genuinely alarming. There are 12 everyday essentials that Target shoppers rely on that are heading towards serious shortages in 2026, and the price spikes are going to be brutal. I'm talking about items you use every single day, things sitting on shelves right now that most people aren't even thinking about stockpiling. Number 9 on this list is something 90% of households use weekly, and insiders are telling me we could see 200% price increases by next fall. And when I reveal number 4, you're going to immediately understand why I've already got a year's supply tucked away. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this information could literally save you thousands of dollars in the next 18 months. Let's get into it. Target essential number 1 is their good and gather organic pasta sauce. Now, I know what you're thinking, pasta sauce? Really? But hear me out. I've got a friend who works in Target's distribution center in the Midwest, 23 years with the company. He pulled me aside last month and told me something that made my blood run cold. Target switching suppliers for their good and gather organic line, and the new supplier is based overseas with a track record of inconsistent deliveries. But here's what really matters. That organic pasta sauce you're buying for $2.99 right now, it's made with California tomatoes, and California is facing the worst drought situation in recorded history. The tomato yields for 2025 were down 40%, and 2026 projections are even worse. I started buying 2 jars every single Target run 6 months ago. I now have 48 jars in my pantry, and I'm not stopping. These jars have a shelf life of 18 to 24 months, which means I'm protected through the worst of the shortage period. Here's my storage method. Keep them in a cool, dark space. I use the bottom shelf of my pantry, where temperature stays most consistent. Rotate them so oldest is in front. But here's what nobody's talking about. When the shortage hits and prices spike, it's not going to be a gradual increase. It'll happen overnight. One week it's $2.99. The next week you're staring at $7.99 for the same jar. And unlike fancy prepper food, this is something your family actually wants to eat. My kids love pasta, and knowing I can feed them their favorite meal affordably for the next 2 years gives me genuine peace of mind. Look, grocery prices are rising faster than most people can keep up with. I have done the math for you and put together a free emergency pantry blueprint that lists the exact 15 items you must keep, which you can buy from any store. It can feed your family for 2 weeks and costs less than takeout. You can grab the list for free at the link in description, so you can stop worrying and start prepping. Target essential number 2 is their Up and Up brand ibuprofen. This one's going to hit families hard. I was reading a pharmaceutical industry report last week that detailed something most people have no idea about. 80% of the active pharmaceutical ingredients in generic over-the-counter medications come from 2 manufacturing facilities in India. 2 facilities. And both are facing increasing regulatory shutdowns due to contamination issues. Target's Up and Up ibuprofen is manufactured using these same supply chains. Right now, you can get a 500-count bottle for about $9. That's incredible value. But my contact in pharmaceutical distribution told me flat out that they're expecting major disruptions starting mid-2026. We're talking about the same situation we saw with baby formula, except this time it's going to be pain relievers. I personally keep 2,000 tablets in my medicine cabinet. That sounds like a lot, but for a family of 4, that's really just a 6-month supply if everyone gets normal headaches, muscle pain, or fevers. Store them in the original container in a cool, dry place. Do not transfer them to other bottles because you lose the expiration date tracking. Here's something that changed my perspective entirely. During the 2020 supply chain crisis, I watched my neighbor desperately driving to 6 different stores looking for a basic ibuprofen. She finally found some at a gas station, paying $15 for a 50-count bottle. That's when I realized that having a stockpile of basic medications isn't paranoid. It's just smart planning. And unlike food items, medications have a stable shelf life. Most remain effective for years past their printed expiration date when stored properly. Target essential number 3 is their favorite day coffee. Coffee might seem like a luxury item, but trust me, this one matters more than you think. Global coffee production is facing a perfect storm of problems right now. Climate change is devastating crops in Colombia and Brazil, which together produce nearly half the world's coffee. Labor shortages are cutting harvest efficiency by 30%, and shipping costs for coffee beans have tripled in the past 2 years. Target's favorite day brand sources from these exact regions. Right now, you're getting a 12-ounce bag for around $6. Industry analysts I've spoken with are predicting coffee prices could double by late 2026. But here's what makes this different from just buying any coffee. Target's favorite day line uses medium roast beans that have better storage longevity than dark roasts. The oils in dark roast go rancid faster. I've been buying 4 bags every 2 weeks for the past 5 months. I store them in my freezer in vacuum-sealed bags, which extends freshness significantly. Coffee beans stored this way maintain quality for up to 2 years. Let me share something personal. My wife is a teacher, and she needs her morning coffee to function. It's not about addiction. It's about maintaining normalcy and mental sharpness during stressful times. When everything else feels chaotic, having that reliable morning routine matters psychologically. During a shortage, coffee will become a bartering commodity. I'm not kidding. In economic crises throughout history, coffee, tobacco, and chocolate become unofficial currencies because they provide comfort. Having extra supply means you're not just prepared for your family. You've got trading power. Target Essential No. 4 is their brand of AAA and AA batteries. This is going to sound boring until you understand what's actually happening in the battery supply chain. Lithium prices have skyrocketed 400% in the past 18 months. Manufacturers are shifting all their production capacity toward rechargeable batteries for electric vehicles and electronics, which means traditional alkaline batteries are becoming an afterthought. Target's up-and-up batteries are manufactured by one of the big 3 battery companies under a private label contract. Those contracts are being renegotiated right now, and my source in retail purchasing says Target's going to face either significant price increases or reduced supply allocation. Here's what nobody thinks about. In a power outage or emergency situation, all your fancy rechargeable devices are useless once they die. But battery-powered flashlights, radios, and medical devices keep running. I keep 100 AA batteries and 50 AAA batteries in storage. They cost me about $45 total during a Target sale. Alkaline batteries have a shelf life of 7 to 10 years when stored at room temperature. Keep them in their original packaging and store in a dry location. Do not refrigerate them. That's an old myth that actually causes condensation damage. Last winter, we had a 3-day power outage during an ice storm. While neighbors were sitting in the dark by day 2, we had flashlights running, battery-powered lanterns keeping rooms lit, and a battery radio keeping us updated on weather. The sense of security that provided was invaluable. And here's a tip. Buy them during Black Friday or back-to-school sales when Target typically offers 20 to 30% discounts. Stock up heavy during these windows. Target Essential No. 5 is their market pantry canned chicken. Canned chicken is about to get expensive, and most people have no idea it's coming. Avian flu outbreaks have been decimating chicken populations across the United States. We're talking millions of birds culled. At the same time, feed costs have gone up 70% due to grain shortages. The result is that chicken prices are climbing fast. Target's Market Pantry canned chicken is currently around $2.50 per can. Each can contains about 12 ounces of fully cooked, ready-to-eat chicken breast. The protein content is excellent, about 50 grams per can. I started buying 6 cans every Target trip 8 months ago. I now have over 75 cans stored. The shelf life is typically 3 to 5 years, which means I'm covered for the long haul. Storage is simple. Keep them in a cool, dry place. I organize mine by expiration date, oldest in front. Here's why this matters beyond just price. In a real crisis, refrigeration becomes a luxury. Fresh chicken requires cold storage and cooking. Canned chicken is shelf-stable and ready to eat straight from the can. You can add it to rice, pasta, salads, or soups. During a week-long power outage 2 summers ago, canned chicken saved us. We couldn't keep fresh meat, but we still had protein-rich meals every day. My kids didn't even notice the difference when I mixed it into their favorite pasta dishes. The convenience factor cannot be overstated. After a long, stressful day, being able to open a can and have protein ready in seconds is a game changer. Target Essential number 6 is their Up and Up brand plastic storage bags. Stay with me because this one seems mundane, but it's critically important. Plastic resin prices are climbing due to petroleum costs and environmental regulations, reducing production capacity. The manufacturing plants that produce these bags are consolidating, and Target suppliers are facing the same pressures. Right now, you can get a box of gallon-sized freezer bags for about $4. Those same bags could easily be $9 by this time next year. I buy 2 boxes of each size, gallon, quart, and sandwich every single Target visit. The shelf life is essentially unlimited as long as you keep them dry. Here's why this goes beyond just food storage. In emergency situations, plastic bags become multi-purpose survival tools. Water transport, keeping electronics dry, creating makeshift ice packs, organizing medical supplies, even emergency rain protection. During hurricane season last year, we used gallon bags to protect important documents, medications, and electronics. When flooding threatened our area, everything critical was sealed and protected. Here's a use most people never consider. Vacuum sealing without a machine. Put food in a freezer bag. Submerge in water up to the seal line, and the water pressure pushes out the air. Seal at the last second. You just create a vacuum seal for long-term food storage. I keep about 500 bags in various sizes in my storage area. It sounds excessive until you actually start using them for food preservation, organization, and emergency prep. Then you realize how quickly you go through them. Target Essential number 7 is their Good and Gather olive oil. Olive oil is facing a crisis that most Americans aren't paying attention to. Mediterranean regions, particularly Spain and Italy, have experienced devastating droughts and heat waves that decimated olive harvests. We're talking about 40 to 50% crop reductions. Target's Good and Gather olive oil is currently priced around $7 for a large bottle. By 2026, expect that to hit $15 or more. I've been buying 2 bottles every month for the past year. Olive oil has a shelf life of about 2 years when stored properly. Keep it in a dark, cool place. I store mine in my basement pantry, where temperature stays consistent around 65 degrees. Here's what makes olive oil essential beyond just cooking. It's one of the healthiest fats you can consume, loaded with antioxidants and healthy monounsaturated fats. In a survival situation where fresh vegetables might be scarce, olive oil helps your body absorb what vitamins you are getting. But there's another angle. Olive oil has been used for thousands of years for non-food purposes: skin moisturizer, hair treatment, lamp fuel, and even wound care. During a prolonged emergency, having multi-purpose supplies becomes critical. Let me give you a real example. Last year, my daughter developed severe dry skin during winter. Instead of buying expensive lotions, we used olive oil. Worked perfectly. Cost almost nothing from our existing supply. When you're thinking about stockpiling, focus on items that serve multiple purposes. Olive oil checks every box. Target Essential number 8 is their Up and Up brand toothpaste. Dental hygiene products are manufactured using specific chemical compounds that come from a limited number of global suppliers. Recent factory fires and regulatory issues in China have disrupted these supply chains. Target's Up and Up toothpaste is currently about $2 per tube. That's going to change. Expect $5 or more by late 2026. I buy 10 tubes every time I'm at Target. Toothpaste has a shelf life of about 2 years. Stored at room temperature. Here's what people don't realize about dental health in emergencies. When normal dental care becomes unavailable or unaffordable, tooth problems escalate fast. An untreated cavity becomes an abscess. An abscess becomes a life-threatening infection. During the Great Depression, people died from tooth infections because they couldn't afford care. Having a solid supply of toothpaste, floss, and toothbrushes isn't about vanity. It's about preventing medical emergencies. I keep enough supplies for my family for 18 months. That includes toothpaste, dental floss, and spare toothbrushes. Total investment was under $100, but the protection it provides is enormous. Here's a tip by the fluoride versions. Some people avoid fluoride, but in a scenario where professional dental care is limited, fluoride provides critical cavity protection. During our practice run of living off stockpile supplies for a month, maintaining normal dental hygiene routines helped everyone feel more normal and less stressed. Target Essential number 9 is their Market Pantry peanut butter. Peanut butter is facing serious supply issues. Peanut crops have been hit hard by drought conditions in Georgia and Alabama, which produce most of America's peanuts. At the same time, aflatoxin contamination issues have been forcing more crops to be destroyed. Target's Market Pantry peanut butter is currently around $4 for a 40-ounce jar. Expect that to double by next year. I've been buying 4 jars per month for 8 months. Unopened peanut butter lasts about 2 years. Once opened, it's good for 3 to 4 months. Stored in a cool, dry place. Here's why peanut butter is survival gold. It's incredibly calorie-dense, about 190 calories per serving. It's loaded with protein and healthy fats. It requires zero preparation or cooking, and kids actually like it, which matters enormously for family morale during stressful times. Let me tell you about a camping trip that changed my perspective. We were 5 days into a 10-day wilderness trek, and everyone was exhausted and hungry. Our freeze-dried meals weren't providing enough calories. I broke out a jar of peanut butter, and we started eating it straight with spoons. The energy boost was immediate and sustained. Since then, peanut butter has been a cornerstone of my emergency food planning. You can eat it straight, spread it on crackers, mix it into oatmeal, or use it in cooking. The versatility is unmatched. And unlike a lot of survival foods, it's something your family eats regularly anyway, which makes rotation easy. Target Essential number 10 is their Up and Up brand trash bags. Trash bags are manufactured from petroleum-based plastics. With oil prices volatile and environmental regulations tightening, production costs are climbing fast. Target's Up and Up trash bags are currently about $8 for a box of 50. Those prices are going to climb significantly. I buy 3 boxes every Target visit. They don't expire, so storage is unlimited. Here's what most people miss about trash bags in emergency planning. Sanitation becomes a critical issue fast when normal services are disrupted. During natural disasters, trash pickup stops. If you don't have a way to properly contain waste, you're facing health hazards within days. We experienced this during a hurricane evacuation. Trash was piling up, and people who didn't have enough bags were dealing with disgusting, unsanitary conditions. Having a solid supply of trash bags meant we could maintain cleanliness and hygiene. But here's the expanded use case. Trash bags work for emergency rain protection, ground covers, vapor barriers, and even improvised shelters. Heavy-duty bags can be used to move supplies, create sandbags when filled with dirt, or serve as emergency water containment. I keep 500 bags in various sizes. It cost me about $80, but the peace of mind is worth 10 times that. When you're planning for emergencies, sanitation supplies are just as critical as food and water. Target Essential number 11 is their Good and Gather canned beans. Beans are a prepper staple, but most people don't realize how vulnerable the supply chain is. Drought conditions in major bean-producing regions like North Dakota and Michigan have reduced yields significantly. Target's Good and Gather canned beans are currently about $1 per can. Expect $2.50 or more next year. I buy 12 cans every Target trip. The shelf life is typically 3 to 5 years. Store them in a cool, dry location. Here's why beans matter. They're an excellent protein source, loaded with fiber, incredibly filling, and they'd pair with almost anything. Rice and beans together form a complete protein, which means you're getting all the amino acids your body needs. During a month-long test where we lived entirely off our stockpiled food, beans were the backbone of our diet. We had them in chili, tacos, soups, and side dishes. They kept us full and energized. The cost-effectiveness is unbeatable. One can provide enough protein for 2 adults. At current prices, you're getting high-quality nutrition for pennies. Compare that to freeze-dried meals at $12 each. I keep about 200 cans of various types: black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, chickpeas. The variety keeps meals interesting and prevents food fatigue. Target Essential number 12 is their Up and Up brand toilet paper. I know. Everyone made fun of toilet paper hoarders in 2020. But hear me out. Toilet paper manufacturing relies on specific, with pulp from limited forestry operations. Labor shortages and transportation costs are squeezing the industry. Target's Up and Up toilet paper is currently about $18 for a 24-pack. Those prices are climbing. I buy 2 packs every Target visit. Toilet paper doesn't expire if kept dry. Here's the reality. When toilet paper disappeared in 2020, people panicked. It wasn't really about shortage. It was about the psychological comfort of having basic hygiene supplies. Running out of toilet paper feels like a total loss of normalcy and dignity. I keep a 6-month supply for my family. That's about 8 large packs stored in my garage. It takes up space, but it's worth it. During the 2020 shortage, I watched people paying $50 for a single pack on secondary markets. That's insane. Here's what people don't consider. Toilet paper serves other purposes. Cleaning material, fire starter, first aid padding, even improvised coffee filters. In a real emergency, it's a versatile supply. Having enough stored means never facing that desperate feeling of running out of basic necessity. Look, I know this seems like a lot. 12 different items to track and stockpile. But here's the bottom line. These aren't exotic survival foods or expensive specialty items. These are everyday essentials from Target that you're already buying. The difference is that in 2026, when shortages hit and prices spike, you're going to be protected while everyone else is panicking. Start small. Pick 3 items from this list and buy extra every time you shop. Rotate through your stockpile so nothing goes to waste. Within 6 months, you'll have a buffer that provides real security. If this information helped you, smash that like button and subscribe because I'm going to keep tracking these supply chain issues and giving you advance warning on what's coming. Drop a comment telling me which Target essential you're stockpiling first. Next week, I'm revealing the 5 Target products you should never buy because they're absolute ripoffs compared to alternatives. You definitely don't want to miss that.